The ancient city of Krakow in Poland has many ghosts. Earlier this evening, I met a few of them in the company of Patrick from Mysterium Tours. Patrick is a wonderful storyteller who captivates his audience in a way that we as writers would like to achieve. It's bitterly cold here, so before my face freezes, come and meet Patrick. Here's the story of Basha, a downtrodden girl who sold her soul to the devil. The story takes us into the tunnels under Krakow's medieval town square.
Now, the palace has had many owners over the years. One of those owners was a rich countess by the name of Helena. And Helena, she inherited all her money after her brother, and she had no intention of sharing that money with anyone. So she just played with men's hearts. She rejected them left and right, and she just lived the most luxurious lifestyle you can imagine. She organized great parties, big parties, and on those parties, she liked to show off her most prized possession. A chicken with dark plumage, a beautiful bird. And she liked to show it off, but on one of those parties, the chicken went missing. And she started throwing things around, and then she ordered her maid to go looking for it. A pretty normal thing, right? But what people didn't know was that she had a younger sister called Basha. And Basha was not living the luxurious lifestyle as her sister was. She was working inside the palace as a maid because her sister wanted to humiliate her at every occasion she had. So when the chicken went missing, of course, Basha was sent after it. Now, Basha went looking inside the palace and she looked everywhere, but she could not find the chicken. For the life of her, it was nowhere to be found. And then she remembers, well, we've got the underground system of tunnels. She has heard the rumors, but she was more afraid of what her sister would do to her if she didn't find the chicken. So she took a lamp and she went looking in the tunnels. The tunnels were long and dark, and soon she got lost, and she could feel some presence with her in the tunnels, and she could hear some noises, and she could feel as if something was about to put her hand on her. So she just tried looking for the entrance to the palace as quickly as she could. And she saw the light at the end of the tunnel. She went straight to it, and she found not the palace, but a long-forgotten altar. And on the altar table stood two candles that were lit. And between those candles stood a creature, a bird. The chicken was there. It stood there motionless, not like a chicken, and it had two curly horns on either side of its head. Now, as Basha locked eyes with it, the chicken started speaking with a dark, thick voice. Basha, dear poor Basha, you have been so sad and alone. Your sister doesn't care for you, and God similarly doesn't care for your plight. But I, Lucifer, I care. Hold out your apron. And she felt her hands moving up her apron, lifting it up against her will. And then the chicken spoke again. Take them back, and do not look back, no matter how tempting it may be. And then everything went dark. And in the darkness, as Basha's eyes adjusted to the low light of the lamp, she could see the chicken just wandering around aimlessly on the ground. And then she looked into her apron. And in her apron, she saw lots and lots of diamonds. And as she saw the diamonds glisten, the chicken started making its way back. So she followed it because it surely knew the way. As she started following the chicken, she could hear some whispers behind her head, whispering something she could not quite understand. So she just got a bit faster. But as she got faster, the voices got louder. They started calling her name, Basha. Basha, turn back. So she got even faster, but then the voices even louder. Basha, stay back, turn back. So she started running as fast as she could. She could see the entrance to the palace almost at her grasp, but she could also feel the hands reaching from the darkness. Basha, stay back. She reached almost there, and she crossed the door, looked back, and the voices turned into a shriek, a scream. The doors slammed into her leg, breaking it. She fell down, spilled the diamonds, and silence fell. And in the silence, as she was nursing her now broken leg, she could see the chicken. At least she got the chicken. And the diamonds. She got the diamonds. But they all started turning to ash. She had nothing to show for her bravery that night. So she promised herself never to tell a soul what she saw that day. And however, the next day, her sister suddenly fell ill, and she had regrets on how she treated Basia, and she promised her that were she to die, she would leave everything to her. And after a couple of days, Helena mysteriously passed away, and Basia inherited all that fortune to herself. No, she wasn't like her sister. She wanted to share that fortune with someone. So she soon found a man, they got married in the church of St. Mary's, and they lived happily ever after. Now, you have to remember that she didn't take the richest... What's the secret of telling stories?
Yeah.
I think knowing the stories and just giving yourself into the story, like feeling it, telling it, but also knowing where you're going, coming from, and just going through the story, like living the story, not only telling it with just your words, just using your body and your tone of voice and all of that. I think that's the secret of the storyteller.